I literally am a cup that is completely empty. I have nothing else to dish out or to give. I've never wanted a kid, and I've told people, just being so blunt about it, I don't want to have that responsibility of like having to be that much of a protector the whole time. He took pictures of my head, which you could see the scratches and everything. And this is about a week after my nose got broken. So there was still bruising on my nose. So there is a police report. I can handle a lot, but that's out of my league. And I don't know how to process it.
Welcome to The Human Experience. I'm Jennifer Peterkin, and this is episode 14, Tyler's Story. Tyler and I met in high school. We became really good friends and stayed that way even when life took us in totally different directions. I will always be thankful that Tyler was a friend during some not so great periods in my life. We lost touch for several years, but he called last summer saying that he had come back into town. When Tyler shared what had been going on in his life, I invited him to tell his story on the podcast. I'm really thankful that he did, because his story is a glimpse into a point of view that isn't necessarily widely spoken about, being the partner of someone that struggles with a serious mental health condition. Tyler's voice is important in this narrative, and we tried to focus mainly on his perspective out of respect to his partner. It's important to disclaim that neither one of us are licensed health professionals, and this conversation is solely based on the personal experience that Tyler has lived. Additionally, names have been changed in this account to protect the identity of those involved. I'll also offer a brief trigger warning that this episode includes conversations about mental health, trauma, and abuse. If you like black licorice, it's a fabulous drink. Most people hate black licorice.
I'll tell you, it's better than absinthe. It's better than Jägermeister. It's better than Pernod.
Let's just have this whole show be what Sambuca is better than. So, do you want to just introduce yourself?
I grew up on the East Coast, and then one day I decided to venture out, and I moved across country to Oregon. Didn't take the Oregon Trail. I took the highway.
Good.
Got out there, and
no diphtheria.
That was in 2011, and got established out there and set up. Worked for a high-end hotel for several years, and then for the last 4.5, 5 years, I've been working for a awesome restaurant that we did all our own meats and food, and it was a cool bar and everything. And
like a scratch kitchen?
Yeah. Yep. And it was just with a bunch of friends, so there was really no accountability or like managers. Whoever was the most in control at the time, like if a situation happened, they became the acting manager if there was a complication with a guest or something, which usually fell to me.
Okay, so you were often the acting manager.
Yep.
So what brought you to Oregon? Like, why did you leave?
Well, in 2009, I did go to a Bible school out there and met a girl that I started dating, and then she broke up with me, which I should have listened to my friends before, like after they met her, that she wasn't a good fit for me. But I didn't listen. I was too much in love.
Say that with more disdain.
Well, she ended up wanting 6 kids, and I don't know how I ever got convinced that I was going to be okay with that. Luckily, she broke up with me. But so I was devastated, and I was like, I got nothing tying me down. I need a change, so I'm going to go on a road trip. So I bought a trailer, packed up the truck and trailer, and started driving. I stopped at a bunch of different friends' houses along the way, and slept on couches for almost 6 months. And then I finally got an apartment, and I got jobs right away. That was easy. That's how I pretty much got out there. And yeah.
So you were living life out there and loving it. Like, you had no plans to come back.
Not really, no.
Yeah.
But I didn't have any plans. Like, I got there and I was just loving it. But it's not like I was like, oh, and I'm still going to be here 10 years, 20 years. Like, I didn't have any plans. It was just living day by day, just having fun and going to work. Met a bunch of celebrities at the hotel I was working at. Became good friends with the wife of the drummer of REM.
Really?
Yeah. Yep.
That's cool.
They had a house out there, and she was super cool and just super rich.
I just don't think I really realized how much of a spot Oregon was, or where you were in Oregon was, because it's a pretty tiny town that you lived in, right?
Yeah, it's about 6.5 miles in length, and it's only about 6 blocks wide.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and then the next town north is 8 miles away. The next town south is about 12 miles away. And so it's pretty isolated. And I mean, it's a cool little town. If you've ever been to Cape Cod, it really reminds me of Cape Cod. Like, that was the one thing when I got out there, and I hated Portland. And then I got to the beach, and I was like, I could really do this.
That's definitely a specific lifestyle, I feel like, to be in hospitality or that industry in restaurants and hotels and everything like that. I mean, you have to kind of live a certain lifestyle because you're working all the time, but the nature of your work is very people focused and customer focused. So you're in this industry that is very intense. There's a lot of emotions that probably go into that. So I imagine that you get very close with the people that you're working with because you're with them all the time.
Yep.
And with them through kind of intense situations.
Yeah. So the cool thing is the community, especially the working class of like the bartenders, the servers, the kitchen staff, they're all between like 25 to like 40. So they're all in the same age bracket. And so everyone knows everyone. It's a tight community, but it's a huge tourist town. So everyone kind of like just looks out for each other, and everyone knows everyone. And the other thing that sucks about that too is like everyone knows everyone's business. So you can't get away with anything because everyone's going to be talking about it. But I found that to be great too, because it's not like you ever have to hide. So somebody knows about what's going on. I don't care. If I did it, I did it. It is what it is. Like, okay, yeah, I got caught streaking. Sorry, it's legal.
So not sorry.
Yeah.
So you have this awesome community. You love where you are. You're not really thinking about what's next because it doesn't really matter.
Yep.
And then you leave. You move back to the East Coast.
Yeah, there's a lot that had transpired between all that and where I am sitting at this table today. So there was a girl that I met in college, and we've been talking throughout the years, just as friends, and she was like, hey, I'm going to come out and visit. Well, that ended up being more than just coming out and visit. She ended up moving in. I always thought she was super attractive, and she's very intense of a person, and I thought that I was attracted to that.
I mean, yeah, I can see that because knowing you personally, you need somebody that's going to be able to go toe to toe with you and not get offended easily.
Yeah, right?
So you had been talking with her for a long time, but you weren't living in the same state or in the same area. It was just texting and calling and social media and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, we would FaceTime. Or actually, years ago, Skype. We would Skype, and there'd be nights we would Skype for 3 hours, talk on the phone, text, Facebook message. I mean, we kept in contact, and then I always kept harassing her. You should come out to the beach. The beach is awesome. It's a cool spot. I was like, I think you'd really like it. Come on out. So she finally did. She came out.
How long was she supposed to come for?
Well, that gets tricky. I didn't know. But I didn't realize there was a lot more involved from where she came from. Okay. So she planned on moving, and it was like, oh, you can crash with me for a while.
Wait.
I didn't know she was moving.
Right. So you thought she's coming for a visit.
Yeah.
And she gets there, and she's like,
stay.
Actually, I'm moving here.
Right. But I mean, I've had friends too that have come for an extended stay.
Right.
And so it was no big deal for me.
Okay. So at that point, you're not really thinking anything of it.
Yeah. I mean, I've already had about 6 different friends that came out and would just crash on the couch, and then they would stay. One ended up, he was only going to come out for 2 weeks. He ended up staying, getting a job, and then he ended up having to fly back for a quick weekend to grab more stuff. And then came back, and he lived with me for 2 years.
Oh my gosh.
So, yeah.
This is a magical place. It's like Neverland.
Yeah, right?
Nobody wants to go home. And okay, so she traveled for a visit,
Yeah.
quote, and ended up staying.
Yeah.
But she had always planned on staying. You just didn't know that.
Right. Yeah.
So why all of the sudden, like you've been talking with her for like a decade. Why now? Was it just you were both available and
I think both available, and it was just like, oh, she's actually coming out to visit. Oh, and then we're hanging out, going for long romantic walks on the beach. I mean, you can't beat it.
there's a reason it's popular.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And so then we started dating, and she got a job right away, and so it was like, oh, okay, I guess you're staying. Yeah, sure, whatever. And that was in January when she came out. So yeah, it was basically she moved in.
January of
This
2022.
year. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, this year. So she was working. I kept telling her, I was like, all right, well, you don't know anybody. Feel free to branch out, go meet people. I have all my friends, so I'd love to meet you. And so kept trying to push her to get established, but she ended up getting too scared because she knew that I know everybody. And then she realized how small of a town it is. Everyone knows everybody.
Yeah.
And so I think that kind of freaked her because where she grew up, it was a lot bigger. You could hide in a big city.
Sure.
Compared to small town. You can't hide.
No.
Like everyone knows everyone's details. So
As you have already stated.
Yep.
So she moves in January, which, by the way, regardless of what anybody is going through or things that you may have going on in your life, moving in together after 2 weeks of dating is intense,
Oh, yeah.
right? Regardless.
Right.
I mean, you guys have known each other for a really long time.
Yeah.
But sharing that much space together is intense.
It's just a 1-bedroom apartment. So it's not like I could close the door and be like, all right, it's either
this is my space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, well, okay. I mean, I knew you were planning on crashing on the couch, but okay, moving in. All right, I guess I'm willing to try this.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely no judgment or anything like that. I just say that to say, regardless of where you are in a relationship or with a person or what's going on in that person's life, that's just a really big
Oh, yeah.
deal, right?
Yeah, big step.
Yeah.
Yep.
And from going to not spending any physical time to each other to spending all of your physical time with
Yeah.
each other, that's
Yeah.
just a really big jump.
Right.
And I also say that from experience.
Yeah.
So she moves in January. Tell me about her.
Well, so she was adopted. She was born in Romania in an orphanage. Her biological parents didn't want her. And so when she was born, she was given to an orphanage right away. And the orphanage wasn't one of the best orphanages in Romania. It's all about taking the kids that nobody wants and then getting them prepped for the sex slave trade. So if the kids aren't adopted by the time they're 7, they just get sold into the sex slave. And guys are able to come in there and have their way with infants up until the 7-year-olds, and then they can buy them or whatever.
How do you know this?
Because I've talked to her parents. I know, like
Her biological parents?
No, her
Oh,
adopted
okay.
parents
Yeah.
who went there and was doing a trip in Romania and went to this orphanage. And then I looked it up too, like online, just doing a little research, and it was like, oh, okay, because she had talked about it. I mean, she has severe trauma from it.
Yeah. How old was she when she
got
left
a-
there?
She got adopted at 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So it makes sense that you had the parents because I'm like, how much does she actually remember? But
Yeah.
that makes sense. You spoke to her
Yeah.
adoptive parents.
And I mean, still, like 4-year-old, if you have severe trauma, I mean, that is
Yeah.
going to have an imprint
Oh, gosh,
in
yes.
their mind. And then her adopted family, she had some adopted siblings that also had dealt with some trauma, so they just were not good to her and a couple of her sisters. So then she also has more trauma built in her life from that.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew about her history
Yeah, I was going to
for
ask.
like a while.
Okay. So while you were friends
Yeah.
and just talking, she
Yeah.
opened up to you about that.
Yep. So like I knew about everything. It doesn't bother me. It's not going to stop me from giving you attention, or I'm not thinking any lesser of you.
Right.
I'm excited for you to come out so I could be like, hey, this is my friend. Oh, now this is my girlfriend. All right.
Yeah.
Like, this is fun. Hey, I haven't dated somebody in 12 years. And friends were like, wait, you actually have a girlfriend? It's like, yeah.
You were very hopeful
Yeah.
about it and
Yeah.
looking for things to be good. You were anticipating good things,
Yep.
and it seemed all really right.
Yeah,
And then it changed,
it did.
and pretty much overnight.
It was pretty dramatic. So Grace and I started messing around, being physically intimate with each other. And I mean, she had told me with like all the trauma and everything that doctors have told her that she's unable to bear children and all that. So we weren't careful. So ended up getting her pregnant, which didn't realize for probably at least like the first month of her being pregnant, other than that her hormones started changing. And we didn't think about it until she really had gone like almost 2 months without her period. It was like, uh-oh. So then we got pregnancy tests, and all 4 of them were positive right away. It was like, oh no.
So like you said, the doctors told her that she was not able to have children.
Yeah.
And so it was something that both of you were like, this isn't a consideration. It wasn't like one drunken mistake. It was, this is something that's not going to happen. So we're not going to take the usual precautions.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Which still should have, but
Hindsight's 2020.
yep.
Yeah.
We're here where we're at right now today. So
All right. So you're going to be a dad.
yeah. Yay.
So before we talk about how everything went down with Grace, can you talk about how you feel about that?
I've never wanted a kid, and I've told people just being so blunt about it, like, no, I am selfish in my own way, where I want to be able to do what I want. I don't want to be restricted or have responsibilities that, like, yeah, I have dogs, but a dog responsibility is easy in my mind. I mean, I love them. It's a responsibility I wanted to take on because it's a companion and they don't talk back.
True.
They're fun. They're cute. They can be annoying, but you know, at the end of the day, you can still put them in a kennel. You can go to work, put them in a kennel.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about it. And a kid I've never wanted. I don't have energy for kids. Like, even dealing with children at the restaurant that I was working at, it would annoy me. It would frustrate me. The hotel that I worked at, they had a policy, no kids under 12 allowed. So that made it easy. I never had to really be around them. And I've just never liked them. I still don't really want anything to do with a child because they scare me. I do have friends that have suffered trauma from early childhood, and I don't want to have that responsibility of like having to be that much of a protector the whole time. That's why I got big dogs too. I don't have to worry about protecting them. They can protect themselves.
It's all part of your thought process.
Yeah. Yes, I do have a selfish desire because I want to be able to do what I want to do.
I think there are probably a lot of men that don't actually want children, but they think that it's what they're supposed to do. And a lot of women, too, that think that that's just the next step. Like, you get married, you have kids.
Yeah.
And some people don't actually want them, or they want the quintessential family life, or they think that that's what they want because it's very romanticized. And then when it happens, it's a lot different than what they thought it was going to be. And that's not to say that having children is bad by any means. Obviously, we need children in the world. But I think there is something good about knowing your own mind and knowing what you want. And it wasn't just like a frivolous or flip decision that you made. This is something that like you've thought about. And even though it's not really a popular position in the world to have, I don't want kids, I don't like kids, you have to be able to live your life and take the steps to do what you want to do.
Yeah.
Which is what you thought you were doing.
Yeah.
Because you were with somebody that was not able to have kids.
Yep.
So that's where you're at.
Yeah.
You have already very firmly decided that this is not something that you want in your life.
Yeah. It
So-
still scared me to death knowing that there is a child coming that I am tied to. I still can't get over it. It's like, I don't even know how to handle it. Like, it's
You're not even emotionally prepared because it was something that was so not a part of your life.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to think about having a family because I'm not going to have a family.
Yeah.
So now this enters the equation and everything changes.
Yeah. There's now this child that is coming. And so I am now trying to figure out how to process the last 35 years of my life, knowing that I've never wanted a kid. Now a kid's coming and I still don't want the kid. But then dealing with Grace, there's more about her that I didn't know about, and I couldn't figure it out. I didn't understand what was going on. I just thought maybe, it's hormone changes or anything. But then she started literally becoming different people. And it was confusing me, and I couldn't understand it. I was trying to have conversations. She'd start yelling at me, and I wouldn't understand why. So I'd start yelling back. And then I finally got her to tell me. She was like, well, one thing I never told you is I've been diagnosed with dissociative identity disorder, which used to be called multi-personality disorder. Well, I didn't really know what that meant. I knew what multi-personality disorder, I had heard about it, but I didn't really understand it. So I had to look it up and really do some research.
Can you explain what it is for people that don't know?
So it has to do with people that have dealt with severe trauma. They're the only people that ever get this diagnosis. It is a mental disorder, but it's almost like a mental block disorder. It's called dissociated because the person that is in existence that is actually them, like Grace, she becomes disassociated. So it's like basically you're going into a dream life where your mind actually pulls away from the cognitive side of the mind and a new personality takes over. And most of the time that person only sees what that personality is doing as like a dream. So they don't really grasp all the conversations, the actions that they're doing. And they call it multiple because they can have multiple personalities, not just like another personality.
So not like, your alter ego or whatever. It can be fractured into.
Yeah, and completely different based on severe trauma that has been incorporated into their life. And this is less than, it's like 0.1% of the global population suffers from dissociated identity disorder. People refer to it as DID for short, just so I don't have to say dissociated identity disorder, just because that's long.
It is, and you kind of get tripped up every time you try it.
Yeah.
Or at least I do. So you started dating this woman that had become a really good friend, and you ended up getting her pregnant. And after that, you found out about her diagnosis of DID.
Yes.
Okay. So what kind of brought that to fruition? You said you noticed that she had been acting different, but what exactly was it that really clued you in that something was really not right?
Well, just the way that she would talk in different perspectives and how they would switch literally mid-sentence or like halfway through a conversation. She would switch and her tone would change. Her facial structure would change. Even like her eye coloring would change.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's a trip. And just the way that she would formulate sentences too, like her sentence structure, the way that she would talk would be completely different. So, it's like talking to somebody and then they literally switch and now you're talking to a completely different person. Mm-hmm. And how do you do that? You're just starting to talk to somebody and then all of a sudden, how do you answer whatever they're talking about? And now that person doesn't even know what they're talking about. Mm. You don't know what's going on, and neither do they, but they're then so in their own mind. It's really difficult because I'm not a doctor of psychology. Like, I don't know how to deal with this. Mm-hmm. I want to be able to fix things. Mm-hmm. Like, okay, what's wrong? Tell me what's wrong. This is how I fix it.
So how is it that you guys were friends for so long and you were dating for several months and living together and none of this had come out?
Well, it did. It's just, it's hard to be aware if you don't know. Mm-hmm. And So at one point, like this person has 4 other personalities other than herself. So there's 5 of them. And if they're just constantly floating in and out, you're not really going to see it. It's until it becomes really drastic where the one takes the primary position for a long period of time. And so she had this one when she first came out and we were actually living together, but I didn't understand it. It kind of threw me off, but she was acting like a 3-year-old, like a toddler. And like, I can't handle it. I don't like kids. I don't want to deal with a kid. And so I'd make fun of her. I'd like shrug my shoulders and like whimper like a crying baby going,
And I'm sure she loved that.
The first couple times that I did it, like it snapped her out of it because I kept doing it. And she would just be like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm you. I'm Grace. I'm just so blah, blah, blah. Wah, wah, wah. And it would snap her out of it. And then she would just be back to normal.
Then after she got pregnant and her hormones started changing, she was having these like major spikes in personality shifts.
That little kid never came out. The toddler hasn't come out.
Interesting.
And that one has gotten suppressed, that personality.
Why do you think that is?
I think because a toddler can't handle the idea, the presence of being a parent. At least a teenager has some sort of coping mechanism of like, all right, there is a child. And then there's the elderly woman that she has that comes out too. And then she also has a man that comes out, which is very abusive, and this person's very strong, literally physically strong. I've had physically altercations where I've gotten hit, scratched, punched, and I've had to fight back.
Was this when she broke your nose?
That was another time, but I like to call that person Scott.
Okay.
Yeah, he doesn't have a name, but I call him Scott.
Yeah.
And that's the thing too. The host being the person that a lot of times they don't know the names of their personalities. The personalities a lot of times will have their own identity, but that doesn't mean they share it.
Oh.
And so 2 of the personalities that have shared their names with me, but Scott, I've dubbed as Scott. This person has never given their name, but I can tell when that person comes out because they're very just calm, but angry-eyed and just looking to hit and looking just to fight. There's been nights when that personality has come out where I literally just took the dogs and I left and I went to a friend's house.
So does the host remember anything when they switch?
Some to most, not all, and sometimes none of it. So it depends on how severe the switch is, depending on what is going on, depending on which personality comes out. Like when Scott comes out, she has no recollection on anything. As soon as that switch happens, she doesn't know. At one time she switched into Scott. When we got into like starting attacking me, and I was like, no, I've left the last 3 times you've come out. It's your turn to leave. And so she got in the car and started driving. I had the cops pick her up, and she was about 25 minutes away in a Walmart parking lot. But she didn't know how she got there. She didn't know what happened. The cops couldn't get any answers from her.
So when the cops got there, Scott had left.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and she's just sitting in the parking lot, and then the cops are there. And I think when the cops showed up, that triggered her to revert back into her normal state.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, she had no recollection. She was even telling the cops, she's like, well, where's Tyler? Like, there's no way I got here. Tyler must have driven me. And the cops were like, no, Tyler's back at home.
Yeah.
He called about you. And then so she got pissed, which then triggered her to go into another state, because then I called the police on her because I was worried about her.
Sure.
I mean, it was a nightmare to deal with. It still is a nightmare to deal with because I am trying to do research, trying to figure out what can I do to stop the switches from happening, to keep her stable. But like I said, I'm not a psychiatrist. I don't have any medical, like the ability to be a therapist for her.
Right.
I would like to be if I could, but I just don't have that capability.
Sure. So I imagine too, we talk about triggers within trauma. And anybody that has been through trauma has their own triggers. So I assume that that's part of it for her. Like when she hits a trigger, she switches.
Yeah.
And so you would have no idea necessarily what her triggers are.
Right. And because there's multiple triggers. It's not like it's
Yes.
just one trigger for one personality.
Right.
I mean, there's so many triggers. And it's not just words, it's actions, it's tastes, it's
Smells.
yeah, like it's so much. It's so involved, and it's like I can just sit here and twiddle my thumbs and it's still going to trigger her somehow. I even went and I talked to several different people and I got her lined up for psychiatric help through a behavioral health resource center. And she was all for it until one of her egos came out and was like, no. I don't like this. I'm not doing this. I don't like this person. I was like, this is just counseling. It's not like I'm putting you in a medical institution.
Right.
Like, this is just counseling. Because everything that I read, people that deal with DID, counseling and just talking about it, therapy is one of the best things to help keep them under control with their triggers. But she wasn't willing to listen, especially when she was in her teenager state or her elderly woman state. Those personalities just were like, no, we are a team. We're working together in our own mind. And it's like, oh man, this is difficult.
Yeah.
And I mean, she is so strong-willed. She doesn't want to really have help from anyone, which makes it really difficult. Plus, then all her trauma is literally male-based. So I don't even know why she wants to have a boyfriend, let alone the idea of getting married, because she hates all men when she's in these triggered states. So that's difficult for me to process and understand and figure out, okay, well, then what good am I in your life? There's 4 of you that hate me. 1 of you likes me. Like, I'm doing the math, you know?
So these other personalities come out based on what her mind feels she needs protection from.
That is also another potential possibility for a trigger. But I mean, it's not just that. That is one aspect. There's multiple aspects. I mean, she could get an upset stomach from something that she ate and then she'll be triggered into a different state. I mean, it's so difficult. And she needs to be on medication. The hard part now is that she's pregnant, so she can't take the real medication that is needed to keep somebody with dissociative identity disorder in a more calm state where they're less likely to be triggered.
Yeah.
Because she's pregnant.
Was she taking it before?
No.
Okay.
She had in the past taken it, but that was years ago. And then she felt that from what I've gathered, she felt she was comfortable enough to be able to keep herself under control with her personalities. And I'm sure she did until moving to a new environment, which was coming out to see me, where she knows no one. She doesn't have a safety net. She doesn't have familiarity. This is all brand new. So everything is starting from scratch. So all the personalities are ready to jump in wherever they need to see fit.
Yeah.
And
then getting pregnant added a whole other layer to it.
I mean, there's been days where it's like she's had to ask me different conversations, and I was like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm getting tired of this. Like, you attacked me. You broke my nose. Because the night that she broke my nose, it was like, oh, you got to be kidding me. And that morning, she's in the bathroom because she's puking from morning sickness. She's like, why is there blood in the sink? I was like, really? You're going to ask me that? And she goes, well, it's not my blood. Like, I'm looking in the mirror, like, I'm fine. I was like, come and look at my face. There's blood stain all over my face. And she's like, what happened? I was like, you hit me and you broke my nose. Can't you start seeing it swelling? She's like, well, why does it look like it's not broken? I was like, because I reset it last night. Once you started hitting me, I got in protection mode for myself. And so I had to defend you, but you'd already broken my nose and I just already had that adrenaline going. So I reset it. And then I left. And then I finally came back. And that's why I'm on the couch. And that's why there's this towel covered in blood.
Yeah.
So that way I wouldn't get it on the couch. But that's why there's also blood all over the sink. I left it there so you could see it because I knew you weren't going to remember. She's like, I didn't break your nose. Yeah, you did. And then she looked at her hand and she's like, oh, that's why my hand's hurting. I was like, yeah.
Wow.
Yep. She's like, well, why didn't you hit me back? I was like, because I'm not going to hit you back.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Obviously, she has a point of view and she has a perspective. And I don't want to pretend that, we're experts in any way. That's not what we're saying. This is about your experience and your story. And so to be the one that is doing life with somebody that has DID or has any, illness at all. I mean, there is a toll that it takes on the partner.
Yeah.
And it's a very real, and for you, a very physical toll that it takes.
Yeah.
So did your community find out what was happening?
I mean, there has been a couple police reports because when I made the call about her switching to Scott, there was physical altercation where she was like hitting me and there was a bunch of scratches on my head. And so when I did make the call, the cop had to show up. And I know this, well, I know all the cops just because it's such a small town. But the cop was like, well, you're going to file a police report? I was like, no. He's like, okay, but because I know exactly what's going on, this isn't the first time that we've dealt with someone in a psychotic state. Because I had to be honest with him. I was like, look, she is diagnosed with dissociative identity disorder. I don't know which state she's in. I know which state she was in when she left, and that was the abuser. And so he was like, all right, you can either fight me, but I'm taking pictures. So he took pictures of my head, which you could see the scratches and everything. And this is about a week after my nose got broken. So there was still bruising on my nose. So there is a police report. So the cops know. And then some of my close friends, like they know, because I don't want all that information being put into a small town community. Like, I mean, for her interest, for my interest. And just because I don't need people gossiping what they don't know.
Sure. Because
as soon as somebody hears that she has dissociative identity disorder, they're going to think it's some psychotic, crazy person. Which there might be some truth to it, but I mean, she's able to sustain a full-time job at a big hotel. I don't know how she's going to be able to do that now through the severity of the pregnancy. And then once the baby comes, because she's adamant about keeping the kid. And I feel bad for her because I can't do it. I can't put myself to be in a relationship with her anymore because it's taking too much of a toll on me and so much heartache. I tried to put up with it once, like learning about it and then like dealing with it all. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not saying I'm like the greatest guy. I know I probably could have handled situations differently, but like I also didn't know what I was getting myself into. There is a lot that people do hold to themselves that they don't allow out. Even some of the most renowned people that we know, they have their dark matter in their life that nobody knows about until it finally comes out.
Sure.
And I mean, I didn't know that about her. If I had known about that with her, I would have been more on the cautionary side of like allowing anything to this happen. But I still would be friends with her. I still would have been like, oh yeah, you can come out and visit. But the idea of engaging in a relationship, I would have been like, no way. I can't do it because I don't have the mental capacity to deal with it day in and day out. Like on a friend level, sure, but I can't do that. Mentally, it's so draining for me. And I can't continue to do that because I literally am a cup that is completely empty. I have nothing else to dish out or to give. And that's one reason why I had to call it off. It's so hard. And it's not that she is a bad person. It's that we're not a good fit because I am not the right type of person for somebody that is dealing with that. I'm not. Some people might say it's because I'm selfish, but I've already admitted I have a lot of selfish things about me. So good luck trying to get me feel bad for saying I'm selfish. I'm already saying it, but I have nothing to give. I can't give more than what I've already given. And the reality is I can't handle it. Like this person's too much for me to handle.
Yeah.
And I can handle a lot, but that's out of my league. And I don't know how to process it. I don't know how to deal with it.
Have you spoken to her family since finding all of this out?
No, I did talk to her mom on the day that I called the police when she left. So then her mom reached out to her later that day after I talked to her mom. And so she flipped out on me, making her promise that I wouldn't talk to her parents again. And I've been respectful about that. Regardless whether I should have or not, I don't know, but I did respect her wishes.
Sure.
So.
Yeah, she's still a person.
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
autonomy and
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So at what point did you say, I have to get out of here and really just evaluate what I'm doing? Because you had found out she was pregnant and you didn't leave right away.
No. That was in like the beginning of April, the middle of April that realized that she was pregnant. And it wasn't until end of June where I was like, I need to get out of this. I need to make a change. And I need to go to a place where I can unwind because I literally have nothing left like inside for support to give out to be there. I'm so broken emotionally. I needed a place to come back to where I can refill my cup, so to speak. And I know I couldn't do it out there because she would be there. So that's why at the end of June, I reached out. And so I came back and I'm staying with my parents right now, which sucks. I love my parents. Don't get me wrong. My parents are great. But when you've lived over 13 years by yourself.
Sure.
Like,
it's just totally different.
Yeah.
Yeah. So coming back, it was a chance for you to reset and to kind of get some perspective on what you want to do and what your next steps are. Do you feel like you have figured some of that out?
Still working through it. I mean, there's a lot. I've been seeing a psychologist, and so I've been talking with him. And one of the big things was he's just like, you need to take time to reset, and that reset button sometimes can take 6 months. He's like, you have a support network here that people are looking out for you. So he's like, take advantage of that. Don't rush it.
Yeah.
Because people that rush it always end up, it doesn't refill the cup like it needs to. Mm-hmm. So
I think it's really important to acknowledge the steps you're taking right now because you came into this relationship thinking that it was one thing and it turned out to be something totally different.
Yeah.
And this isn't a commentary on what she shared or what she should have shared or whatever, because that really doesn't matter. It happened, right?
Yeah.
So now you are reaping the emotional effects from that. Like you are in a place emotionally that you never thought you would be in your life because who saw this coming?
Right.
And so to take a step back and to figure out what the next steps are is so important, but even more important, and what you are doing, which I'm very proud of you, is you're in therapy and you're actively seeking out, hey, look, this is beyond what I can handle and I need help. And I think that's so important for partners of people struggling with illness, because there's only so much that you can give. There's only so much that you can do. And there comes a point where you're like, I have nothing left.
Yeah. And I mean, that's the hard part too, because I really don't think that I would have come back here if there was no kid. But there is a reality that there is going to be a kid. And I don't know down the road, but like where this kid's going to be, what this kid is going to be capable of. But I mean, I can see myself down the road trying to have some connection. Mm-hmm. And I need help with therapy to help try to like bring that side of me that I've never wanted, never had a thought, a care in the world for, try to somehow make that an idea that I can go with. Mm-hmm. Whether or not I get back together with Grace, because I had to break up with her because I just can't handle it. But there is a tide to her, whether or not she tries to go after me for my Social Security or just child support, whatever. I mean, that is all reality from the choices that were made. And I mean, I have to live with that. But there is still a human in every article that I've read and talking to the therapist, children born of families or parents that have dissociated identity disorder, it's very, very difficult. And most times it's not a very successful child development because it's multiple personalities raising one kid.
Yeah.
And so that kid doesn't know, as it's being taught, what is right and what's wrong because there's different guidances from the different people. And
It's very confusing. It's a very confusing upbringing.
yeah. That kid's going to grow up very confused unless she's somehow able to rein it in. I mean, God willing, being able to be an outstanding parent, I think that'd be awesome, fantastic. But all the articles that I've read, it's not hopeful. It's not hopeful. And if I were to co-parent with that too, it's like, okay, well, that's why I need therapy. So that way I can then maybe somehow down the road, but like right now it's like, this kid's screwed. Like,
Oh boy. I mean, it's a lot. It's
Yeah.
a big left turn in your life.
yeah,
Not something you saw coming at
no,
all. Yeah.
no,
In more than one way.
yeah.
How has it been being back?
Being back, it's been good. It's been weird too, just because I mean, there's been so much changes that have happened all over, and I mean, it's not the same. People are married. They have what they wanted. They wanted kids. They've gone down those paths where my path was a little different, but I'm back here, and I mean, I love being able to see all my old friends again and reconnecting and getting re-familiar with what's going on in their lives. They're getting familiar with how crazy my life is. But yeah, it's just a new chapter trying to figure out how to wind into where this chapter is going to go.
Yeah, I mean, that's life, right?
Yeah.
Some of us have more twists and turns than others.
Yeah.
So, one question I do ask everybody, and I guess kind of the biggest question that this podcast is supposed to answer, if there was one, is how do you view compassion through the lens of your experience? What does compassion mean to you?
Well, I think it's not casting any judgment and trying to be there to give it your all for that person, for anything. I mean, compassion is showing love to what some might think is unlovable. But I've already spent my compassion and I need time to be able to rebuild that. I mean, trying to show love can be difficult. Showing compassion can be difficult because there's love and there's tough love. And trying to look out for people and give them what they need in the time that they need it is also a part of compassion. But I mean, compassion it's showing love. I mean, that's what Christ did. It's love first. And unfortunately, we don't have the strength and the ability that Christ and God have. I mean, we don't. There's only so much you can give until you can't give anymore. And at that point, you got to be able to work on yourself too. So that's what I'm working on right now, is trying to rework on myself so that way then I can be, I mean, you know me, I used to always help out whenever needed to be helped out on anything, and I just don't have that drive. I don't have that energy. I don't have anything. I'm so spent. That's the hardest part.
Yeah. I mean, I do think that there is a big part of compassion that, you know, if you can't be compassionate towards yourself,
Yeah.
do you know how to be compassionate? There's a lot of self-care, I think, that is
That comes
an
along with
important
it, yeah.
component of compassion,
Yeah.
because you have to care about yourself and making sure your cup is refilled.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, you're right, you have nothing left
Yeah.
to give.
Yeah.
Well, I really appreciate you telling your story. I know that it's not over, and you've got a long, you've got a long road ahead of you.
It's just begun.
Yes, it's only just begun. But I really do appreciate you kind of shedding some light on DID in general, but also from a partner's perspective and what you've lived through and gone through and how that has really just changed the course of your life.
Yeah. And I mean, the other hard thing is there's a lot of people that just don't know it exists out there. Like they've heard multi-personality disorder, but that doesn't mean they understand it. And even psychologists out there will refuse to take people because they're not even capable of doing it. Like they literally have to go to specialists that only deal with dissociative identity disorder,
right?
Because they're not even capable to give the amount of therapy and psychiatric attention that they need for it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the one thing too, is just raising awareness for it. Cause I mean, it does exist. It's very isolated and very limited because it's such a small percentage of the population that have it.
Yeah.
And there's actually, of the population that is diagnosed with it, it's like a 14% misdiagnosing that happens with it too.
So more people are diagnosed than actually have it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And
I'm sure that goes on the other hand too, right?
Oh,
of
yeah.
people that are not diagnosed,
right?
Where psychiatric care is not available or.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the only way you're going to get the possible diagnosis is by going to get help. I mean, you could tell the person you need to go get help, but unless that person is doing it or unless they commit a crime where then it's court ordered, you're never gonna get that. I mean, people try to be strong-willed all the time and not try to get help. They just try to toughen it out and do it themselves. But that's why we're supposed to live with community and have each other's backs and have friends to look out for each other, like have a community network. So it's a matter of having compassion for one another and being a community about everything and being able to be open and talk about it.
So there's your answer. Right. Compassion is community. We got there.
Got it. Score.
Thank you so much for listening to The Human Experience. If you enjoyed this episode and you'd like to help support the podcast, please subscribe, share it with others, and leave a rating and review on your favorite platform. Everyone has a story, and I'd love to hear yours, so be sure to check out the show notes for more information about how to stay in touch. Do good and take care.